it and have to maneuver life. If you have not, then you tend to think, oh, we're going crazy, or why are you saying that, or you're trying to break up the family. But when you have individuals that have been in the trenches of it, we're only telling you based off of experience. We're not trying to tell you to scare you away. Because Lou said the exact same thing I pretty much said. It costs you time, it costs you money, it costs you relationships. It does. You need to be cognizant of that.
Your situation is different because all you wanted was a kid. So responsibility should have fell on you anyway because you wanted a kid, not a relationship. So you
absolutely right. So which is what happened.
If you went through a struggle, that's your own choice.
You're right. But that is still my experience. So I gave them what my experience is because I made a choice to be in it. These young ladies are not making a choice. They're thrown in it haphazardly, and then they're confused on what's going on. I was never confused because you're right. I looked at it and said, oh my God.
They're not going in haphazardly. They're doing what their parents did. And their parents before them did. All they're doing is...
So when are we going to change it? So when are we going to change it? That's the whole purpose of this, was to change. What happened? Because do you perceive your mom and your grandmothers were happy like that?
They were content.
And see, that's a problem.
So contentness is okay with this one life that we have? Like, wow.
This is a problem. This is a problem I have with men. This is it right here. They really believe that's our lot in life is to sacrifice ourselves.
No.
Everybody else.
I never said that. I'm just saying that it's a cycle being repeating each generation. You know what I'm saying? To me, there's a disconnect in the sense of other races understanding how to handle that situation when it comes down to kids. The man stays in the household. He's seen his father and how he handled his business and how he took care of the household as well as the kids, and they repeat that cycle. All we saw was abandoned homes. Fathers never in the homes. Mothers raising 5 kids on their own. That's what we saw. This is a repeated cycle. This is a generational curse. And until we break it, it's going to continue. We had these conversations forever until something stops and we revise this.
Which is why Vanita and I stress to women, because the majority of our viewers are women. Particularly, we really want to reach the younger women because women are making this decision, not thinking it all the way through, and are suffering emotionally and mentally. There are hundreds of YouTube videos of women saying they regret motherhood. They don't like being moms. They wish they could change it. And the comments are flooded with women saying that they thought they were the only ones who felt that way. They didn't think it through. The baby daddy is a fool. All types of stuff because women, society grabs young women very young and put this in their head that being a mother and being a wife and sacrificing yourself to take care of everybody else is your lot in life.
So who's the blame then? It's not the black man. Who's the blame on that instance then? You saying it's being programmed, but then you say it's the black man's fault. So whose fault is it?
Well, it's not anybody's fault. I'm saying because society puts this on, particularly, we're going to talk about black women. So we're going to keep it real, talking about black people. Society puts this on women, just worldwide, women in general. Okay, the difference is other races of men seem to be able to stay in the home with their kids. So if a black woman decides to have a kid, it's pretty much really on her. That's why
because the other races, because that's what they saw growing up. Their dad stayed in the home and handled his business. In our community, it's not the case.
That's what we're saying.
Y'all acting brand new about this. Come on now.
No, we're not acting brand new. We're saying
it's not brand new. You're absolutely right. So what do you perceive the resolution is then? Because it seems as though you're saying
start bringing up the youth differently than how we were brought up.
How so? Different examples. Doing what?
Different examples. By teaching them the
different examples way. Like what?
But y'all don't stay in the home. The men don't stay. Black men don't stay in the home for whatever reason. Y'all say y'all got taken out of the home from welfare. That's what the rumor is. But why you not in it in 2022? You still not in the home. So why? Because you don't want to be there. That's what I'm saying. y'all, but men can give all the filler, fluffer, and reason and excuses they want to be. Men are not in the home because you don't want to be there. That's the reason you're not in there, because you don't. Men don't, again, and I can tell by how men have reacted to the birthing of kids, and I've seen this a whole lot since I've been an adult. I've watched it. Men do not really navigate when we have kids. When we bring kids into a relationship, men don't navigate that well, particularly black men. They just don't navigate that well. So we're having to plead with women, hey, listen, your group of men aren't like the ones you saw on TV. They were raised by single moms. That's all they know. Just like you. You say, well, that's how it is. My mama did it. My grandmama did. That's their mentality. So we're telling women, just know your men think that it's your lot in life to raise kids by yourself. They think that shit is wrong.
No. I just said that because we didn't have the good examples that other people have. You imitate what you see.
Okay, so what are you going to do about it?
Just imitating what we see.
Okay, so when are you going to change it? Because we can't make y'all stay. We can't put a gun to your head and make you stay in the home with your kids. So what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Just keep on raising them by ourselves? Is that what we're supposed to do? Just continue this crazy ass cycle that affects us? We just sacrifice, take care of us.
No. All I hear is us, me. What's the deal? Isn't it two people that's doing this?
You're not in the home. That's my point. There's no two, it's a one.
So
if they were in the home, that would be the case. So it sounds like really what you're saying, the one, is that you're trying to talk to your brother and telling them to, if they have a kid, to stay in the household. It sounds like that's what you're saying. Is that what you're saying?
I'm trying to tell the youth that's coming up with some Big Brother programs like that right there to change the way that they think and to raise them differently. For us, that's pretty much what it is.
But again, your brothering would have to have the youth programs because the boys need to be raised by men. So now they would have to create it.
They do.
So,
they do. They need men. Look at Lou. Lou raised his son. He raised his son, and his son is a lawyer. He's a lawyer. Because
so it's necessary for them to be there.
Black boys need their fathers. And because you're not stepping up, we can't make you. We're saying to women, make sure if you're going to have a baby, you really ready to take on all of it. Because you don't really have a group of men that collectively believe that.
Y'all are going into it negatively. You're speaking it into existence. Why can't you be positive and think the best of things versus thinking the worst?
We're not thinking anything.
We're just giving statistics on what's happening right now. It's regardless of my feelings.
Is everything negative then? Is everything negative?
It ain't positive. I mean, it ain't positive for a woman to have to try to raise a son. Women they do their best, but raising I've seen what fathers do for boys. I've seen it with Lou. His son graduated from law school because Lou put the smack down. He wasn't playing with him. Men need boys need their fathers, and that's what black men don't.
Lou's situation is different. He was kind of thrusted into that. It wasn't a normal situation where the man and the woman was there, and the man just decided, okay, I'm gonna take the child and do it on my own. It was a situation where it just kind of happened that way. Correct?
Yeah, it did happen.
I'm just saying, he make it seem like okay. The way you're going with that is like okay. No, I'm just saying, I feel as though the situation pertains to that versus it just happening on its own. Correct? Because initially it would have been both of them raising the child together.
The point is, the father, Lou, because he was there all the time in the home, his son is now an attorney. That's what fathers do. That
ain't no guarantee that's going to happen for every situation.
I'm not saying I'm not saying all. So it's not all. When I'm not talking about all. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule, but we would be disingenuous to say that fathers don't make a difference when they're in their sons' lives and putting the smack down on them. We'll be disingenuous to not say that. And that's the part that frustrates me about black men. It's the mother, y'all didn't raise them right. Oh, y'all need to do a better job with these boys. What about you? What about you as a father? That's that. It burns me up with the black community that it feels like that it's all on the mother, the black community, the men.
No one said
accountability.
That. No one said that. No one said that. And let's be honest about the situation anyway. I guarantee you, out of that 70% you're talking about, 35% of the situation where the woman ran the man off. Don't play as if it's always the man's fault. Come on now, let's talk about this thing.
Ran him off.
But probably without a bitch that can play and talk this shit like you're doing right now.
Well, we have a child. We have to raise. What do you mean, bitch?
Women can't have opinions.
There's no men out there who will step up and handle their business.
We didn't say that.
There are men out there that will. You know what I'm saying?
We didn't say there weren't men. We got one on the panel. Lou raised his son.
Over.
Okay.
We raised his by himself. We're not saying that we know it happens, but we're saying 70% of little black kids, there's no father in the home. And we wonder why it's looking the way that it is. We need fathers in these homes, but we can't make you stay there. We cannot make you do it. That's the
so
thing.
What's the other option? What's the other option? That's where we're going with it.
So
we can't force you to stay there. So what's the other alternative to it?
Exactly. So we're telling women, hey, be aware who you're dealing with, because you in a culture where the men don't really give two shits like that about, you know, how these kids are being brought up. Be aware of this. That's what we're saying to women, because at the end of the day, she's going to be the one bearing all the burden. She's going to be the one bearing all the burden. And the black community don't give a damn about women.
What?
If you did, you would make an effort to marry and be in these homes. Am I right or wrong?
Once again, what examples did we have?
That's my point. You think it's
so? Is that supposed to be their excuse?
You think it's normal?
I didn't have an example of not to wreck my car, so I'm gonna just go wreck the car.
I'm just saying that's what happens generation after generation.
Okay, so how do we change it?
You have to becoming aware, being awoke. You know what I'm saying? Breaking the cycle. Like I said, start with the youth.
Well, that's why we're having this conversation. That's the whole purpose of the podcast.
This conversation sounds like a whole bunch of black male bashing. That's what it sounds like.
It's not about black male bashing, and we've said this several times.
I'm being real about it.
Listen, it's directed towards women, so women can be aware of what you're dealing with, because the black community throws a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's a lot of smoke and it's your fault. Oh, well,